Greetings, sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. This is Body-Culinary. Hopefully you have some water in a wine glass. And sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. So I just wanted to check in today, just to share a couple of things about a no makeup routine. So this is not one of those no makeup routines where you wear makeup, but it looks like it's no makeup. This was really like a no makeup routine. So I wanted to touch in on that if you're interested in that, and for some very specific reasons. So a no makeup routine, as well as hair, right, or the crown of hair that we have as a means of psychotherapy, as something that's very therapeutic. So if you're interested in seeing, stay tuned to this video. For those of you that may be new, greetings to the channel. This is Body-Culinary. On this channel, I share some of my journey of radical self-acceptance, accepting and celebrating the unique features that I popped out onto this 3D earth plane with, as well as encouragement to start a garden, whatever kind of space that you are in. Everyone can grow something. Encouragement to consume what I will call peaceful consumption, peaceful to your arteries, your liver, your colon, your skin, right? Peaceful. And so with those values, that can kind of help really help us get clear on aligning our choices with our values, right? So for me, what that looks like is fruits, whole fresh living, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, fresh ground spices. And keep in mind, I have been a junk food junkie before. And also encouragement to cultivate a personal movement practice. And all of these things as a form of self-administered therapy. Not only is it self-care, but these practices, right, and routines and regimens, they're very, very therapeutic. So I get, as I've said on this channel before, by the way, feel free to comment. You're always welcome to comment respectfully in the comment section. I don't have the only perspective. I'm just sharing one woman's perspective and one woman's experience, and it could change, right? So there are certain things that I'm grounded in, but one of the reasons I'm grounded is from so much self-experimentation over 30-something years. So I'm just sharing my experience. Perhaps it could be helpful to someone out there. Perhaps it can even save you some time. In particular, if you have issues with weight and wanting to assist your body to be at a healthy weight. If you're someone that's experienced extreme or a lot of acne and scarring. And then also if you have concerns with very mindless eating without making ourselves bad or wrong. So those are some of my areas of specialty. I am a classically trained professional chef, although I credit my mom and my grandma for giving me a hand with flavor. So I have a Caribbean and Southern, Afro-Southern flavor palette. I'm also been a personal trainer for many years, a fitness competitor, yoga instructor, all that other stuff. And I am a mother, and I enjoy being a woman. So I share a lot of my experience, or some of my experience, on this channel. Those are the type of things you'll find here. So today I want to touch on minimalist beauty and hair. All right, our crown as a form of psychotherapy. Now, it is just hair. I could cut it off. I could grow it long. It all depends on what kind of experience you want to have. However, I like to use every opportunity to make myself feel good in a way that is sustainable. And so this is one of the things I consider, especially in my quiet moments in the garden, which is why I encourage you to get some vitamin quiet. So nurturing plants is a good way to reconnect. And it's also being very, very intentional around therapy. And so I'm very aware, I'm sensitive to stress. And I think quite often, the narrative, even for ourselves in the Afro community, but I'm sure many women, but I can speak as an Afro woman, we don't acknowledge. Even today, we can say we know there's stress, intellectually, but I have observed there's a disassociation. It's not really registering how serious this is. And this is going to connect to this minimalist beauty. Again, I can appreciate makeup, a full face of makeup. I prefer natural looking makeup. But the thing I prefer more than anything else is health. So health is my number one beauty product because it's sustainable, and also there's that healthy sense of self from knowing that, you know, it's mine. I don't have to take this off and feel like the psychological letdown from not from expression, artistic expression, but from feeling like I have a cover up and I have a mask on and this is not really me. I have observed that I'm really affected by that. So I do have castor and all that other stuff. So for those folks, because I am going to share, this might be a little bit longer. Let me just share minimalist beauty, what that looks like for me. So this is a spoolie. I see it all over the place. These cost hardly anything. And this is something to be mindful of if you have daughters, right? There may be some men folks with locks that come to this channel. So that grooming process and self-care, I think, is very important, as well as hygiene. Hygiene first with what you put into your mouth. That's number one, hygiene. Sleep is a form of hygiene. Character is a form of mental hygiene. But also as women, humans, we like beauty, we like pretty things, we like flowers, we like colors. So that your daughters don't feel, quote unquote, left out, or not just left out, so that they can express that natural tendency. For those of us that are drawn to, you know, feminine practices, you know, playing with your eyebrows and your hair and your thing. So I'm in I'm in the vein of thought of preserving your beauty, right? Again, that comes back to health. So this is something perhaps simple you can get your daughter, because little girls are going to go in the bathroom and close the door and we're going to play. And whatever you have in the medicine cabinet, whatever mom has or grandma has in the medicine cabinet, we're going to mimic, right? Just like with doll babies, we mimic, we're going to mimic. So minimalist beauty, I'm going to show a couple of things, and these may be things likely you already have, especially if you're Afro woman, is raw shea butter. So I used to use the orange one. That one has palm oil, as I've researched it, and makes it orange. And I've also tried raw palm oil on my skin. I'm always experimenting to see how I can luxuriate on my own skin, right? So this doesn't discolor my clothes. So this is raw shea butter. This is raw cocoa butter. So this is raw cocoa butter. And I can get that locally here because where I am, there's a lot of raw cacao, right? So the cacao, the chocolate, the cocoa butter is a product of the cacao. And so then also I have castor oil. This is cold pressed castor oil. I used to put this in my hair as a loose natural. Now, part of what I do is I put this here. So for all my little girls and stuff, all my young ladies, right? I put a little bit here, and this is what I use on my eyelashes, right? So I don't have anything on. I just have my own natural born skin, and I love feeling comfortable in my skin. So I'll take the little spoolie and I'll brush my eyelashes, right? So for those women that do wear mascara, you know, you may notice a lot of times when you're taking off the mascara, sometimes your eyelashes are leaving with the mascara. So caring for what you have underneath that, the foundation is health, so you can feel comfortable in your skin. You know, if you want to feel, all these people are selling you all these tinctures and solutions to grow your eyelashes. Castor oil, honey. Just castor oil. So if your little girls or your nieces are going to play next to you, you know, these are some things that you can give them, you know, so you feel, and it's also healthy for your skin. There's no toxic chemicals. So that's cold pressed castor oil. The other thing that I will do is I'll take, and it's just me, sometimes y'all might even see some shea butter in my eyelids, but that's all right. I'll take the raw, just to take a teeny bit of the raw shea butter, in addition to putting it on my elbows and on my knees and my feet. Again, these are routines of hygiene that we can encourage our young girls with. You know, give them their own little jars of cute little jars of shea butter, right? So I will take it and I will put it on my eyelashes, right? So I actually find, you know, my mom didn't allow me to wear nail polish and all that stuff. I think, I don't know if I was maybe 16 or something like that. My mother was like, no. And I was really upset because I saw my cousins doing certain things. But now looking back, I can see she was on point in terms of garnering certain types of attention from older men, or maybe perhaps looking older than I was, right? So these are ways that we can encourage grooming without all of the toxic chemicals, and so that the girls can actually mimic. Sometimes the castor oil will get underneath there, but look, I'm moisturizing my eyes, my hands, nothing toxic. And so also I could use cocoa butter for that. Eating living foods. Back in the day, I would find that every now and then my lips would get dry. My lips don't get dry. So I don't need to put cocoa butter on my lips for shine. Actually, that's like a big distinction that I found with living foods is even when I would buy natural lip balms and vegan lip balms from the food co-op, they felt very heavy and greasy when I initially, like years ago, started eating just solely whole living foods. So it actually feels kind of greasy to me. So, but if I wanted to put something on my lips, I could just use the just a little drop of raw shea butter if I wanted a shine. So you can put that in one of these little small containers. Like this is my heart rate monitor, but they have some little containers that are around that size that you can give to your daughters. So if they can want to moisturize their lips. And so also when you're eating that stuff, you know, all that stuff is not going inside your throat. So you can have like a little bit of a sheen if you want to. But again, I feel like I just don't have a need for things. So the other thing, I can also take a little bit of shea butter. And mind you, someone that has had like a whole lot of acne, I should be definitely afraid of oil on my skin, right? Definitely afraid, because in your mind, if you've ever had a lot of acne, you're thinking of, oh my gosh, oily skin. Now, oily skin is a benefit as we mature. But I'm very clear that a lot of the blockages of the pores is coming from the inside, from what we're consuming. So again, for my young ladies, you can take, right? Because I know everyone's in. I used to get my eyebrows threaded and all of that. But initially, what I was doing growing up, watching the women in my family, I would just take the same spoolie with some, if you have shea butter or castor oil, and these are things that you may like already have in your house. And I would brush them up and then brush them over to the side, right? And I'm saying this in terms of preserving our beauty, so you can keep your eyebrows attached to your face. You can keep it attached to your face. So I know there's a lot of no makeup or makeup, no makeup looks, but this is really like no makeup, right? So that's my eyebrows. And so as I've said on this channel, I have retrained my eyes to appreciate what it is that I have and health. And so I think that's it. There's really nothing else I need. I use a spray bottle with water in it. And so I don't oil my locks per se, but I will say this, you know, the longer you're on your journey, your palate will likely change if you're consuming whole, fresh, living, unprocessed foods, right? That may be a journey for you. If you're looking at not twisting your hair, that's something else to adjust to. What is your hair going to do? If you're venturing into not twisting it, that's another thing. If you have very, very thin, fine hair, right? Because it's not, you know, I think we can perhaps be very dogmatic or very rigid, right? But I'm not there with you. It's for you to find your sweet spot and to listen. If you feel like you need oil in your hair, use oil in your hair. But I do know I've researched on YouTube, which is great because YouTube allows us to look into each other's kitchens and bathrooms and see what we're using. But if you have very, very fine hair, right? My hair is so fine, then this is like a Congo Nati for me. But all of my hair is very flat. Some like super duper flat. I found a whole lot of oil eventually makes my hair stiff. However, initially when you're cleansing your hair, you may be washing old oil and things out of it. And so I see so much, maybe it's calming down now, but so much cider vinegar, so much baking soda rinses. I had to do that one time, and I don't use anything unnatural because one day I just woke up and my hair was stiff. It felt like a Twinkie. And so that really deterred me from oil. However, if you have very thin, fine, delicate hair, you can overwash it, even with very delicate shampoos. So I actually like washing and bathing because it's very therapeutic to me. So I have to be very mindful not to strip my hair because it's, again, if you have very, very fine hair, a lot of times we're doing too much. And so that's also part of what I want to touch on today is hair as a form of psychotherapy or something that's very therapeutic, right? Noticing our internal dialogue around our hair. Like every now and then I can hear a voice, which is not bad or wrong, saying, you know, I could try this style and I could slick this down. I could slick that down. However, I do know the long-term effects, right? Everything catches in here. My hair will become something else. I clog all this stuff up. Then I got to keep putting my hair through all this trauma to get it out. Same thing with food, right? Sometimes we're eating so much stuff we don't want to be accountable for it. Then you have to work like a demon to get it off. So it's certain things, if I don't do it, I don't have to come back and undo it. Sometimes you can't catch up with all of that. So if you do strip your hair, find yourself having to strip your hair, right? You may want to either take some jojoba oil, which is super duper light, a little bit like in a dropper, and put it inside of a little spray bottle with some water and spray your hair. So we don't have to be dogmatic or this channel says you should do this and that channel says you should do this. I invite you to tune into your own inner listening so you can find your sweet spot. Because I'm really noticing like we can be almost like crazy, you know, maybe creating like mental instability and irritation and depression from all of this pressure. So one of the reasons I like minimalist beauty per se, right, or minimalist health, right, because health for me is what is beautiful. There is radical self-acceptance in there, right, of what my hair and skin look like, even with the best care, is going to mature. Some people will age. I like to be very particular with the words that I apply to myself, right? Because people are casting spells on you all day. So I like to be very mindful of things that are triggering certain kinds of emotions, right? So I like to be very minimal and to be able to sit with myself and observe my own health so that I can see, where do I need to apply more fruits and vegetables? Where do I need to apply more rest as hygiene? Where do I need to apply more away from social media? That is something that I've been noticing a lot, right? If you just sit back and listen. So there are also some relaxation videos on this channel. Something else that I do is food shadow work. That's a term I've come up with because it's something I've done intuitively in my practice of nutrition and fitness coaching over the years, because something big, you know, on my radar, because it's in my family pattern and history, is obesity, morbid obesity, and emotional eating. So I do what I call food shadow work. And a lot of it revolves around a lot of listening. So in taking a lot of all of these different you can always pick them back up and you can always play. If you decide to eat whole living unprocessed foods and incorporate it into a lifestyle, whatever ratios you choose, and you see results, you can always go back if you want to. But I invite you to listening, your own listening. I'm not there with you in your body, and listening to what kinds of dialogue is coming up around you, around inner critic, around your what you look like. And I invite you to slow down, to tune into, what does that feel like? Does it feel anxious, you know, in comparing yourself to everyone on social media, to their locks, to their skin, you know, or trauma bonding around acne, you know? Does that help you or entice you to get to the root of whatever state your body temple is in? So the relaxation is key. Taking lots of things off the table is very, very therapeutic. And so with my hair, yeah, I'll give you a great example. One of my favorite, maybe I'll do a video on some of my favorite locked tubers, or maybe I'll just add it here. Some of my favorite YouTubers with locks. Ingrid Hart. Oh, I love Ingrid Hart. I love her energy. And I love her celebration of her hair. There was also Adette Wellington. She's one of the first people that I saw with some freeform locks that wasn't using oil. Her hair was very, very light and fluffy. And she's someone that had locks for years, and they weren't as long because they were so, or they are so spongy from the no twisting. And so even when I told a family member and several people that I wasn't going to twist my hair, people are like, especially in a professional field, if you're in a high-end gym, you know, you have to look and smell fresh, and you have to look a certain way, because that's how, you know, clients come to you. And even one of my family members was like, I don't think you need to go with that no twisting thing. Like, you know, so what comes up? there's that internal dialogue that it's not groomed, or it's not clean, or it doesn't look like money. So you will have to find whatever that courage is to stand on your own square. Why? Because it's therapeutic. And therapeutic practices, I find, are critical in these times, because I don't think we perhaps even realize you can be burnt out from constantly being on social media and comparing yourself. I've noticed it really has a huge effect on our stress levels. It can affect your ability to sleep. We may not even realize. There's one subscriber, someone that has, maybe she's not a subscriber, someone that's visited the channel. And I will click on folks' channels just to see what folks are up to. And she mentioned, I can't think of what her name is, but shout out to you if you're watching, that she decided to trade off a lot of her addiction, and these were her words, her addiction to drama series and stuff on TV for being more engaged in life. And she has some short little vlogs of her building some stuff, of her looking at some frogs and stuff. And I was like, well, I had to give a shout out on her page. I was like, that is so excellent, because we don't realize the way that we are engaging, a lot of it is affecting us, I think, in a toxic way, or in a way that is one way where we're getting deposits, right? And it's not making us feel good. I think it's a lot of the engagement on social media, I think, is generating anxiety. I even noticed myself feeling kind of burnt out just on social media. And so when I check in, which I invite you to do, with your internal dialogue, I was listening. You have to really listen, because lots of, I don't know if we say voices, but intelligences, forms of communication going on all the time. So when I just tune and listen, the feeling like you have to perform for people, and we get it, that's part of perhaps sales, but it doesn't appeal to me, having to perform for people, having to put on a show for people, or the idea of me getting dressed up and don't get me wrong, I like fashion, I like to dress, I like grooming, but the idea of getting dressed up for a bunch of strangers that look at you only as a body part, or don't value you or respect you as a person, I have enough time on the planet and enough sense and life experience to realize that people can be physically attracted to you, but not respect you or care for you, or not protect you, or be willing to invest in you, not willing to invest in your business. So I think without life experience, you may just be merely satisfied with the attention. Women, we like attention and we like praise. However, I don't find that that's sustainable, or it's not all of what I'm looking for. That's not enough for me. It's for somebody to give me a like, it's strangers on the internet. So there's really a whole psychology that is going on with all this engagement. So in order to protect, being very intentional around healthy boundaries around my mental well-being, my peace of mind, that is a big part of what my locks, and it could be, even if my hair was short with a peach fuzz, it would be the same thing, because I wore that for many years. I'm being protective of me standing on my square of how I want to express myself, and not basically getting dressed up for predators and pimps and people trying to peddle me products, so that can be very challenging, and many of us will go that route. I don't want to make it bad or wrong, because I don't think that's totally effective. I think it can be more effective, right, in terms of securing and sustaining our peace of mind and our well-being, right, to listen and have an awareness of what's going on, right? One of the ways us being burnt out from social media and being affected, it can show up in our procrastination, in terms of getting into our movement practice, us eating mindlessly out of anxiety. These things may not even register as anxiety. I know I don't like to label myself, I am this, I am that, but noticing certain kinds of behaviors. I'm humbled by how our psyche and our state of being is affected by triggers, right? There's a lot of what I'll call triggeration going on. So I'm being very minimalist and taking things off the table, I find provides a space for relaxation, kind of like minimalism. I've noticed too much stuff it feels like claustrophobic, or like a prison, or like you can't breathe, right? Having so much products, so much clothes, and I love fashion so much. I don't know if y'all can relate, but I spent so much money on clothes that went into the garbage can, over the years. And, when you take off the makeup and you take off the Spanx and you take off the hurting shoes, it's like, sometimes I feel like it's torture, torturing ourselves. And so I have made a decision. I like things that are attractive and handsome and beautiful as well. So I have found, okay, so what is going to be my balance? You'll have to find your own sweet spot. I'd rather focus primarily on my health, right? So I don't have to constantly buy bigger clothing sizes, and I can feel comfortable in the clothing that I own, and I don't have to wear, as much, and I don't have to be self-conscious around so much dark marks. And then when I'm at whatever my healthiest state is, this is what it is. Because whenever you get with whoever your significant other is, at some point you have to take off the mask, right? And can you be comfortable with yourself? I feel like we're driving ourselves crazy. Again, I'm not going to demonize makeup and playing an expression, but the root and what's sustainable. If you can't ever feel like you can have a pimple, right? We get bloated, we get our menstrual cycles, we have pimples, we get injuries, we get gray hairs. If you can never feel like you can relax, that's like more of a prison. And that doesn't really appeal to me. So I want to go in the garden and I want to play. I'm very intentional around prioritizing play for my mental health. So not just in, locks or in tenors. I hear that rationale for locks and, twisting things into your hair. A big thing for me, though, is just simple relaxation and feeling comfortable with what I have and not being so fearful to see what I have, what it does, what it performs like, my hair is not dense, don't have a whole lot of locks. I'm not going to twist it. I'm not going to buy a bunch of new growth oil. I'm not interested in a whole bunch of products, because that to me equals stress. That equals pressure. I would rather play. I would rather dance on my pole fitness, my aerial silks. I want to go play in the garden. I want to roll on the floor. I want to play capoeira, and I'm thinking of some ways to share my favorite capoeira teacher. That to me is joy. That to me is fun. I want to have fun now, not next year, not when this happens, not when it's the next election. So I'm prioritizing. I'm being extremely intentional, very, very intentional, so I can have the mental, emotional space to create abundance and other things. I think it's so important that we feel comfortable in our skin, and no one can do that for you. You're going to have to make that choice for yourself. At some point when you relax and you take away some of the extra, you can look and see what are the features that you really appreciate, right? Healthy vanity, if you will. What do you appreciate, right? And you can really start to fall in love in the sense of appreciating what you have. You know what I'm saying? I'm appreciating my hair color. I think it's an interesting hair color. It's not brown, it's not black. My eyebrows. So you can literally start to fall in love. And when I say love, a deep appreciation for yourself and what you have. And that feeling, the emotions are so important. The feeling of deep appreciation. How can that show up? That will show up and be more relaxed. And that relaxation, you can make better choices or choices, right? You don't have to have a judgment. Choices that are more in alignment with your core values and what you want for yourself, how you want your body to perform, how you want it to feel, right? Being very anxious and very stressed can likely play into your food choices and eating things as opiates, as merely recreational, right? Because we're so stressed that we go on automatic pilot. So this hair, I think, is a form of therapy. You can cut it off, you can grow along whatever you want. But I know I'd like to have the experience. I want to see how long it can grow. I can always cut it off. That's the experience I want to have. And I invite us to allow your daughters here to grow. Maybe even perhaps your sons, but definitely our daughters. Allow it to grow so we can experience, all the different things that our hair can do, because I would even say it's a beauty mark. It's so unique. And I find it sacrificing and trying to mimic. And again, you can artistically express however you like. But we are unique. And in our insecurities, which are fed by many companies, we are not appreciating the very thing that many are mimicking. We're not appreciating our beauty mark. It's so unique. Nobody else has this, which is why I use the term Afrolocs, and I'll say Afro flowers. I can appreciate the beauty of women of all different walks of life and our beauty secrets and regimens. I'm here for it, exchanging those things. But this is something that is very, very unique to us. And when it grows long, there's nothing. Our daughters here literally can be dragging on the ground, and they can play and do whatever they want. We can have the flipping, bouncing, and behaving here, even if it's thin, thick or thin. And also for my women out there that have very thin hair, maybe because it's traction alopecia, we've done the mostest with our hair. I think it can be very beneficial to leave our hair alone, because I'm telling you, I'm not twisting anything. I simply smooth it when it's wet. And again, we don't have to be dogmatic. I don't prefer oil. But if I overstrip this, if I felt I needed to put a little jojoba oil mixed with some water, I would do that. So it's purely up to you. Experiment. It's your process. I invite you to take a lot of the stress off the table. Oh, here's the other thing I wanted to touch on. There was another YouTuber who I've watched from time to time, a young woman. And she's very successful in business, and she shared something. A lot of people share a lot on YouTube, and basically she shared that I think at 29 she had the symptoms of a stroke. So when you think of synchronicities, I thought that this was really, really something that came up on my feed, and that I watched that, because I think definitely culturally, I don't think it's exclusive, but I'm speaking as an Afro person of Afro-Southern and Afro-Caribbean descent. We take great pride in, well, I'm strong, I got it, I can do it. I'm the type of person, I can get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I can get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to sleep until I get it done. And especially with social media, with many of us really spearheading our own businesses, there, we have all the different positions of the company, right? And it's sometimes just occurs as natural to us, right? Because we have had to do more. It is what it is, in order to get some kind of economic standing and stability. I think it's very, though, important. Again, this is what taking a lot of things that are stresses off the table can be so important. We need the therapy. I know I do. I need sunshine on a regular basis. I need space to move and to play, as that's a standard for me. I need that. I need nature and trees around me in order for me to function, right? Many of us be dialing into things rendering us non-functional, So this woman, and I know in the fitness industry, I remember taking classes on stress and atherosclerosis, how stress has a physiological response to where you secrete cholesterol, which it contributes to building up plaque inside the arteries, right? This is a physiological response to stress. So many of us may not be realizing we could be setting ourselves, it's men, but it's not only men, ourselves up for a heart attack. We're not thinking of all of this scrolling, all of this comparing, turning ourselves inside out. Like, can you ever relax and give yourself a break with trying to impress everybody? Folks with no character, no investment, no real demonstrated concern. I say no. That the main one I'm to please and to care for is myself. And when we do that, that's the only way that I see it's going to be reflected of a genuine, I just don't see a genuine care and investment and concern coming when you haven't set it as a standard for yourself. And I don't think that there's any way around that. So I just wanted to come on, check in. with you all and to just share, you know, those simple things for minimalist beauty, no makeup, which is really a no makeup, right? And looking at you, look into your eyes, look into your skin and appreciate it. You know, this body temple, it's our vehicle on this side of the dirt in this 3D experience. And it needs to be taken care of. It functions on cycles. It's responding to being overstuffed, and to not being given sleep and to being exposed to too much recreational activities, whether that's with our reproductive organs or overstuffing it with toxic partying type foods to take the edge off. You know, this temple can only take so much, and then we're kind of shocked and panicked when we're getting certain types of diagnoses. So the only ones that are really going to have, or the only person that can really have a vested interest in your supreme health, like vitality, your longevity, like a vibrancy. And how does that show up? For me, it shows up in like you are excited to play. You can't wait to move. That's to me a symptom of feeling vibrant, that you don't feel like, oh, I can't get up, or all I have the energy for is to go to work. You know, I invite you to tune and listen to your internal dialogue. If you don't have the energy to move and you're not motivated to move your body in forms that you enjoy, if you're not doing painting, if you're not being creative, perhaps there's a disassociation. Maybe you may not be acknowledging not only how much you are stressed out, but how much that's become an ingrained pattern. So I invite you to look around and see. It may not be with your hair, something else. But I know for me, taking a lot off the table has been very, very key. So I would even call it a type of minimalism. I can play maybe in a mascara or something like that, but my main concern is my health, my mental health, and me making space for joy and relaxation. Relaxation helps me to make space for that, right? And so I can see and plan out when I'm going to have my fun times, right? And when I'm going to nourish my body with beautiful food. I hope that this video is valuable to you. You're welcome to check out Patreon. I do have a Patreon channel for the members of the channel. I give it a shout out. And a thank you to all of those folks that are on Patreon. And there is another level. There's a middle tier of Patreon. You can either support the channel, and if you'd really like to support the channel, I have a food prep party. Right, we're coming together, and you can come hang out and party with me. And we're pulling out everything in your refrigerator once a month to party. And for those folks that are on the third tier of Patreon, you have a personal consultation with me once a month. So greetings. I'm on break and just happened. I don't know if it was you, Tangerine, that posted. I think you might be in the Bahamas, and you we're posting some short vlogs. I think I commented on your page. Thank you so much for sharing that. You never know what you're doing, how it's going to affect other people. But I so appreciate it. I would love to know what it is that you were making, what you were making there. I'd love to see women doing all different types of crafts and building. You know, me, I wouldn't call myself an avid builder, but I've managed to put together a composting system. And there are different things that I've managed to do without a building degree and without, you know, just using a saw, hammer, nails, you know, to create things, you know, that are fun. You can still be feminine and you can still create. But thank you so much for sharing. I'm pretty sure it's your channel. I think it's your channel that I saw with those little vlogs mentioning trading off being addicted to drama series, right, on these screens, and trading off for being more engaged in life. So refreshing, so refreshing. That's encouragement for me. So I keep my eye peeled for reciprocity. Just as folks may be fed or get some value out of this channel, I'm looking for, I like to be fed and inspired as well. So I think it's for us to recognize that. And it's easy. There's no shortage of drama online. And not to demonize it, but are you really getting something back? Are you getting something that you can work with? Are you learning something new? Are you more inspired to get into your movement practice? Are you more inspired to eat healthy? Or are we really complacent with just tearing other people, you know, pointing the finger and tearing other folks down, especially folks that look like you. That is something doesn't feel right. It's one thing to get a teachable moment. That's another thing when we become like a what do you call it? Like a lynch mob, going after people online. It's like one distraction after another. So I think it's very imperative to be intentional around protecting your peace and your calm. That's a beauty product. Your peace and your calm is a beauty product. Having the energy to play, that's a beauty product. Are you getting out into nature? You know, because these screens are addictive. They're addictive. So I invite you to support the Patreon. Feel free to support the channel if you get some value here. I invite you to whip out your yoga mat, right? There's a little video on this channel how to make the best use of this YouTube channel. I invite you to cut some vegetables, or to put out your mat and to do some stretching, or to even declutter while you're watching these videos. I'm giving you a gem. That's big in my toolbox, creating positive support. Oh, and replay them. I have things I've been replaying for years. Now I can't even use the cassette player, my cassette player I gave away. So, and I can even play my CDs, but I have things that have kept me positive company. So if we're going to be programmed and triggered, you might as well program and trigger yourself, right? In the direction that you want to go in. I love your channels. Greetings from Namibia. Oh my goodness. Greetings. We'll send you greetings as well. Thank you so much. So in my little corner of the internet. And yesterday I got my little tube on with my little overalls because I want to go in the garden. I want to play. You probably already had my little juicer and my little grater. It would be a no-brainer. We would just be playing. And I feel like that is what is missing so much. So I'm going to be inviting some people. I just have to think, and it's occurred to me so I don't burn myself out. And I encourage you to think of the same in your relationships. You know, you might have people that just come and dump all of their stuff that they're going through. But if folks are not committed to getting into action, you may not realize that that is a, what do you call it? It's a withdrawal. Right? So are you receiving deposits? Are your relationships and your interactions, are you being fed? Is it reciprocal? Are you able to have different areas with the people you're interacting with where, you know, you have some folks that are strong in fitness, and some folks that are stronger in time management, some folks that are stronger in beauty. You know, you are enriched when you leave your communications. Somebody may have a discerning eye for pointing some things out to you. You know, how are you relating? What's your circle of influence? So I invite you to perhaps use this as your circle of influence. All you gotta do is press play. So if you already have paying for internet, I invite you to be picky and choosy about what you're allowing. Because again, although, you know, I work as a chef and a nutrition coach and personal training, I'm very big on, and I've mentioned it on this channel, I've been fascinated since a child on what drives our self-sabotaging behaviors and what drives us, what clicks the switch for us to be motivated to get into action around what we say we value, especially when it comes to self-care. What that looks like in a very tangible way is a movement practice. You should not expect a toned, flexible, fit body if you're not playing, if you're not placing work on it. I'm not saying beat your body to death, but if you're not engaging your body and asking it to move, then most likely you're going to lose strength without even realizing it, right? And we need these bodies to have longevity so we can play longer and be healthy longer, right? Also, a healthy esteem and taking care of yourself, I think, is even a form of positive birth control. Because the more time and effort you put into yourself, you're less likely to want to put yourself in harm's way. So self-care, it's a mentality. That's one of the biggest things that I can say. It's a way of thinking. It's a state of being. What you may not realize, or you may be disconnected from what your state of being in, is if you're under constant stress, if you're constantly triggered. So it's likely going to require us to get kind of quiet so we can have the space to cultivate awareness. If that makes sense. So I'm going to go in the garden and play, and I have other work to do. So feel free to check out resources that I have available for folks. Is Healthy Eating for Men. That's a webinar on body-culinary.com. If you would like the guide, right, if you're not able to consult with me, I recommend everyone get the guide, Whole Living Foods in the Hood. If you're wondering what I mean by living water, if you want to see what I have been doing for years with my family in terms of consuming whole, fresh, living foods as a lifestyle, yes, it is possible to do that 100% without buying imitation fake meats and gluten products and all these things from the store. It actually will drive your food bill down. So more so than a recipe book, there's lots of pictures in there and sample shops and sample budgets, right? And should you go to the farmer's market or the food co-op or the wholesaler, and this is your spending plan, there are some ideas if you're buying all this food in bulk. What am I supposed to do with this food now, right? So that's what I call reactivating the ways of the mothers, knowing how to flip all of those different ingredients, right? So there's sample menus with sample shops, lots of tips in there and strategies if you're a mother or you're a single person, and lots of pictures. So that's Whole Living Foods in the Hood with menus to fit your budget. And then there's also Natural Beauty No Products, because how I cleared up my cystic acne was with food. And then also my movement practice, but just the food that I've been eating primarily and then putting on my face, that's in Natural Beauty No Products. And you'll also see what my hair looked like as someone with very fine hair before it locked, right, in my travels. This emergency food preservation and preparedness, that's a whole workshop. So if you're looking, and you don't have to wait for an emergency to do that. That is my lifestyle during the year. How I keep whole fresh foods stocked up all year round. So when it comes to an emergency, I'm pretty much set. You know, I just restock on certain things. This has been my lifestyle for years. So that is available on body-culinary.com. Is there anything else? The Cocoon, folks can register for that privately, because that is in the wee hours. So more than likely you will communicate so you can see with the time difference. That is usually done in the hours from 4 to 6 a.m. So it is for the early birds, someone that really wants to take the time to go in to totally revamp your food, activate your movement practice, activate your garden, and also to receive coaching on how to get to the root of self-sabotaging behaviors and to put some other things in play that are part of a lifestyle. At 6:15 in the morning, that is a hit and quit it workout. So it's perfect if you have a small space. You don't need a gym. If you have issues with your knees or your back, I give a lot of coaching in corrective exercise. So getting into a regular movement, what I call vigorous, joyous movement, is critical. Then, of course, on this channel, I will share what I'm doing inside of the garden. I have some other things that I would like to share in terms of some workshops and sharing some of the things that I'm using and have been using for years in my toolbox of self-care that are really part of a lifestyle, you know. So that is the goal for me. I like to have fun and play. So then it doesn't occur like something else to do. Going over to Patreon. Do make use and download the guide, Whole Living Foods in the Hood and Natural Beauty No Products. Greetings and shout out to Mizray, Kuuna Hita, I don't know if I'm saying your name right, Tangerine Melody, and Emma B. Also, let me know for some folks, I really want to share, in addition to Hit It and Quit It, last thing I'm saying, then I'm going to get off of here. Something I have several things brewing, right? One is Afro flowers and Afro flowernomics. So that is what I call, it's a vision of over 1 million women throughout the diaspora, whether they're in Haiti, the Caribbean, down south, Africa, America. I have a vision of all the things that we need for grooming and luxuriating, that we are all growing these flowers, herbs, and food. I don't care if you're in Norway. I don't care if you're in Denmark, right? Everybody can grow something. And also passing down the knowledge of everything that you're putting into your mouth has a nutritional and a medicinal healing property to it. So that is, it's really interesting to see that many of us don't know what to do for a rash or our menstrual cycles, or, you know, there's a lot that we don't know what to do for increasing iron, you know, for chicken pox, measles, immune system, that there's some, but it's not really activated to where it could be. In addition, folks with this unique beauty stamp, this whole economy is primarily, the economics of it goes out to other communities that don't have this beauty stamp. So I have oh my gosh, I have a grand vision for how we can stimulate the circle of economics so that wherever we travel on the globe, that Afro women are not just surviving or flourishing, are able to economically secure ourselves through our beauty practices. So there's that, so much. There's some different teachers that I would like to share. All continue to be, keep down to that garden, therapeutic. The garden, peaceful consumption, right? Peaceful to the womb, the arteries, the brain, to longevity, vitality, and being able to play, and radical self-acceptance. So you got your movement, you've got your garden, you've got your peaceful consumption. That is lifestyle, and you can take it wherever you want. So I really want to really reactivate that, because it's our culture. It's our culture. Right. So those are some of the things that you can look forward to. Make yourself, avail yourself of those resources. Would love to see you at the end of June for our food prep party. If you're interested in living foods and private coaching, reach out. And if you're not able, please download those resources. I put them together thinking of young people that may be traveling or in school managing their own funds for the first time, single moms, parents, you know, that you want your whole family on board in terms of eating healthy. This is 401k for your body. All right, so I've said enough. Create a great day on purpose. Check out Body-Culinary on Instagram and Kwasa Peaceful Eating on TikTok. And let's say Body-Culinary, YouTube, Instagram. Facebook is not my favorite, but I'm also on Facebook. All right, y'all, create a great day on purpose. Just because you said so. And I'll see you soon.